Click here to watch part 1 of the interview if you haven't already with Michelle, and if you want to listen to the entire conversation, it's 1 hour in one fell swoop. You can check it out on Plantriotic.com or type in the Plantriotic podcast on iTunes. You're also a mother, and this is something that obviously food and nutrition and just veganism as an ethical and sort of health framework is something that is a relatively, big change in your life in the time and, age that you are. It's not something that you grew up with. It's something you had to learn and sort of reteach yourself.
Sure.
And so how were you able to navigate sort of this food-related change amongst being a mom and amongst your friends, and even as a yoga teacher? Like, how did that, how do you navigate those things?
How do you navigate those things? Well, it is a bit challenging when it's not just you, and I think the whole becoming plant-based, like the diet part comes first, and then actually being vegan, which is different than eating a plant-based diet, came in second. So I think that side of it, once I connected with the ethical side of it, I adopted my dog a few years ago, and I suddenly realized, which I don't know why I didn't before, that we're no different. And so that side of it is something that children really naturally connect with. Yes. Children love animals. Yes. I mean, there's some children that don't, but most children generally love animals. My children love their dogs. They love animals, and they naturally wouldn't want to harm them.
Yeah.
So that was actually very helpful in transitioning the kids. And my children do eat animal products when they're with their dad. They're with me 95% of the time. Right. And they really like their plant-based diet. And when they go see dad, they're super ready to come home and have their green juice and their fruit. That's and so their,
cool. So what about school? Because that's something I think about sometimes. Like, I know some plant-based parents who homeschool their kids and they have, a more level of control. And when I think about myself when I was that age, sure, you can probably talk to them about it and they can resonate with it a little bit. Because, if you show a kid an animal being tortured, they're going to throw a fit until it stops.
Yes.
Whether that's a chicken or a cow, a dog or a cat. Because as you said, they have that we all have that innate natural wisdom that we don't want to harm other beings that don't need to.
They're not disconnected as we are as adults.
Exactly. We are just...
They're all born little yogis naturally. It's life that takes you away from that.
Isn't that
so
amazing?
They're still there. They're already a better yogi than we are,
Exactly.
So going to school and whatnot, their school doesn't provide school lunches. You can purchase them through an outside company, but generally most kids pack their home lunch. So my kids bring their lunches to school, and it's always plant-based, it's always high carb, and they actually really enjoy being kind of different. Like, they love to come to school with jackfruit.
Talk to their friends about it.
And be like, what do you mean? You don't know what jackfruit is? Oh my God, I eat jackfruit all the time. And like, what do you mean you haven't seen a high chia persimmon before? Are you kidding me? So
that was so cool.
They like to show off their plant-based lunches. They think it's cool. They've never asked me to put anything else in their lunch, and they've never felt ostracized by the other kids. I think they think they're cool for it. I don't know. They think it's different, and they don't mind being different.
Right. The thing.
So cool, babe.
Huh?
You make it so.
I make it so cool. It's because I'm so cool. That's what it is.
It's true, and you know what? That is a good segue. I was going to ask some more questions about the kids, but the form of yoga that you talk about and sort of your whole personality, like, you're a very relatable person in that, like, you throw F-bombs once in a while, and often, and there just seems to not be this, like, elitist, I am better than you. You're just like a groovy person.
It's because I'm a total fuck up. Like, I grew up. And I've
Can we talk about your past?
I've made more mistakes than anyone I've ever known, and so I'm in no position to judge anyone.
So what do you mean by it?
I'm still trying to figure stuff out. I don't have everything figured out. I'm not, I'm not like some yogi levitating on a fucking mountain somewhere, that's all perfect and shit. I have shitty days. I get upset. I scream at my kids, I'm not perfect, but I embrace it, I try not to judge other people, even though they piss me off sometimes, and we all do. It's human nature.
Yeah. So, like, I want to get into... There's probably gross noises of jackfruit coming in.
I know, I feel disgusting.
No, but that's fine. Probably most of the
just
people
know
listening
that
to this
it's
are
so
down.
good and
It's
juicy.
so good. You know, the style of yoga that, like, I say I teach, as I told you, I call it Bhakti Vinyasa. Like, Bhakti yoga, love and devotion yoga. But I also bring in a sometimes rigorous vinyasa physical practice.
You're gonna break a sweat, yeah.
Exactly, because that's why I got into it. And I know that for, you know, I teach at my college, and like I go to kind of a groovy, hippy-dippy, environmentally focused
The state
college.
of Colorado is a groovy, hippy-dippy
Exactly.
place, yes.
And, you know, I get 30 students per class, like, coming in, and I teach at the fitness center, and they're looking for a certain experience.
Sure.
But I want to give them that, and then also sort of drop peace and love bombs of bhakti devotion. And a lot of the, you know, you bring sexy into yoga, into a serious way, and like kind of dance and fun. And what is like, why do you do that? And like, how did that come to you? And
so I don't know why I do it. It's just something that happens when I'm by myself and I'm practicing in my room. For years I've been doing it. It's just whenever I'm in my yoga groove, I'm listening to my music and I'm doing vinyasa and warrior two, and then it ends up like I'm rolling around on the ground like a stripper. I don't know why. It just naturally happens. But it was something that I never felt like I could really like share or teach because, you know, yoga can be dogmatic like anything else. You've got your vinyasa yoga and your ashtanga yoga and your anusara yoga. And and I always felt like, well, this isn't any of those. And like, this is like weird and people will not be into this and they'll be like, that's not yoga or whatever. And people do say that, and that's fine. But I actually had a teacher here, and her name is Tamara Levinson. I don't know if you've seen her Instagram, but she's Kuchira on Instagram, Cuchira.
I don't know.
She's fucking amazing. She has a really amazing background. She's an Olympic athlete. She's a rhythmic gymnast. She's a professional dancer and choreographer. She toured with Madonna. She's amazing, and she coined the term yogance. And she started doing this stuff on Instagram where she, you know, basically blends dance with yoga. And my skill set is nowhere near hers. We have very different styles, but she did like a yoga challenge and I did her challenge, and it was like where I really started to feel like, okay, I can share this and other people are going to think it's cool. So I started sharing it, and you know, people generally dug it, and so then I felt more comfortable with it. But I did need her inspiration for that. It wasn't something that I just kind of had the balls to like show myself. She was the one that really inspired me.
And also YouTube, as you know very well probably, is kind of the nastiest place, like social media platform, in terms of people just being so mean.
Are you speaking of the trolls?
Yes.
Those people that live under the bridge in their mom's basement.
Talk shit on people. I mean,
you know, I've had a really overwhelmingly positive experience on YouTube. I haven't had a lot of that, but there is that. Yeah, for sure. But I haven't had a lot of negativity in that regard. Mostly people just complain about me saying fuck so much. Yeah, like once in a while.
Yeah, I think that's a good problem to have relative to like what is going on other people's channels. I mean, it's just such a crazy place to just like express yourself without a face, because most people that are commenting don't have YouTube channels. Like they're not putting out content. It's such a
their profile picture is like a cartoon character, and you click on their thing, you're like, who is this fucktard? And you click on their page, and it's like they've got 2 subscribers, and one's like their mom, you know, and it's like all the videos, you look at their liked videos, and they're watching like freaking donkey porn and shit. You know? You
said you wouldn't throw out donkey porn.
You know what? Sometimes it comes out. I'm sorry. I don't support that in any way. Just so we're clear.
Not ethical.
It's not. And you can take that out if you want. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care.
So what? Let's talk a little bit about because you know you are a part of the fruit-based community, and like we're eating a bowl of jackfruit. This isn't what normal people do, quote unquote. But you know, you're also very realistic about it. You openly, you know, are into not being dogmatically fully raw, and this is something that is also very new in my life because I've been experimenting with a fully raw fruit-based diet living in Colorado at 6,000 feet.
Interesting.
Throughout the winter.
Lots of pears.
And it has been really cool, and I've enjoyed it. I went to Woodstock Fruit Festival last summer and just really dug it and was like, I'm inspired, I want to try this out. But I've always naturally been a dogmatic person, and it's sort of been sometimes to my benefit and sometimes not. It's sort of it's definitely been a balance. And very recently, this is the first time I've probably even said this on the podcast because I'm going to put this up soon, but I sort of rethought my plant-based vegan activist message and like why I care about this stuff. And it's not because I want all the vegans to start eating more fruit.
Right.
I actually care about that zero, pretty much. I don't care about other vegans eating more fruit. I care about people eating animal products, eating more compassionately. And whether that's veggie burgers or eating a bowl of jackfruit.
Yeah.
Personally, nutrition is something that is really like fun for me. I've always been into it while I've been vegan. Before, if you said the word nutrition, I would like put my hand in front of your face and say, that's the most boring thing I've ever heard. But after just learning about this stuff, I realized how freaking cool it was and how like impactful it was.
Yeah.